Every summer, you turn on your screen and watch thousands of crores flash before your eyes. You see a 22-year-old fast bowler gets bought for 20 crore rupees. You see the logo of a massive conglomerate painted across the stadium grass. You hear the news that the broadcasting rights for the next 5 years were sold for over 48,000 crore rupees. The mainstream narrative is simple. Cricket is a religion in India, and the IPL prints money for everyone involved. But if you actually look at the balance sheet, the unit economics, and the structural design of this industry, the reality is very different. Wealth in IPL is not created equally. Some players in this ecosystem are taking all the risk and bleeding cash, while others are essentially collecting risk free rent. Welcome back. Today, we are taking apart the IPL business model to answer one specific question: who is actually making the most money out of the summer spectacle? Let us start by looking at the companies that look most powerful but structurally makes the least money. The broadcasters. When a media joint like JioStar or Viacom 18 writes a check of 48,000 crore rupees to broadcast the matches, the headline makes them sound like the kings of the industry. But you have to ask yourself a very simple unit economics question. They are paying well over 100 to 130 crore rupees for every single match. Can they realistically recover 100 crore rupees a day just by selling 10 seconds ad slot for pan masala, tires or electric vehicles, or by charging a small subscription fee? The answer is almost always a no. Structurally, the broadcaster operates on razor thin margins, and historically, they bleed cash. The reason this persists is that the broadcaster is not using the IPL as a standalone profit center. They are using it as a massive multi-billion dollar loss leader. They are paying an absolute fortune not to make profit on the cricket, but to force millions of Indian consumers to download their digital applications. They want your data, your attention, and your digital real estate so that they can eventually cross sell you broadband connections, phone plans, and other entertainment subscriptions. The broadcasters are not making the money. They are the ones funding the entire ecosystem. They are the ones paying everyone else. Now, let us move up the chain to the faces of franchisee, the players. When the auction happens, it is designed to create shock and surprise. A foreign fast bowler goes for 24 crores, and a very young Indian batter become multi-millionaire overnight. It feels like the players are walking away with the so much cash in the bank. But look at the structural power dynamics. In a mature global sports ecosystems like the English Premier League or American basketball, the players are unionized. They have collectively bargained to ensure that the player salaries represent roughly 50% of the total revenue. In the IPL, this is not the case. The player salaries are strictly capped by an action purse. If a team is only allowed to spend around 100 to 120-50 crores on the entire squad, and the league is generating tens of thousands of crores in central revenue, the math starts to look very different. Overall, player salaries account for only about 15 to 20% of the league massive total revenue. So yes, the players make incredible absolute money for 2 months of work. But structurally, they are heavily underpaid relative to the actual size of the business they are generating. They are entirely locked out of the explosive capital appreciation of the teams they play for. The players are rich on paper, but in the grand scheme of profit pool, they are actually subsidizing the profit margin of the owners. Before we get to these owners, we need to talk about the silent partner in all of this. The entity that makes thousands of crores without swinging a bat, without buying a team, and without taking a single ounce of operational risk: the Indian government. Think about the sheer volume of wealth extraction happening quietly in the background. The government collects an 18% GST on the entire 48,000 crore media rights deal. They collect 18% GST on every single central sponsorship, like Tata Group's title sponsorship. They collect 18% on every ticket sold, every jersey bought, and every franchisee fee paid. And that is just the indirect tax. Once the BCCI and the franchisee owners declare their massive corporate profits, the government steps in to collect 30-40% corporate tax. Then when the players get their 20 crore checks, the government takes the highest income tax bracket cut straight out of it. The exchequer is quietly the second or third largest direct financial beneficiary of the entire tournament, entirely insulated from who wins, who loses, or what the ratings are. Now we reach the midstream, the franchisee owners. These are the people with the highest return on equity in the entire ecosystem. To understand why franchisee owners win so big, you have to understand how their business model is engineered to eliminate the risk. Think of this ecosystem like an exclusive 10-shop food court inside the only mall in a massive city. The mall owner decides that only 10 restaurants are allowed to exist, no matter how massive the crowd gets. Because the mall owner controls the supply, they can charge very high entry fee to the payment app that wants to operate there. That is our broadcaster. But here is the magic trick. The mall owner forces that payment app to share its massive fee with all the 10 restaurants. In the IPL, the franchisees are guaranteed a 50% share of the central broadcasting and sponsorship revenue pool. This means before a single ball is bowled, before a single ticket or jersey is sold, the franchisees have already covered their cost and secured a profit. Even if a team plays terribly, finishes dead last, and has no local fans, they are still structurally guaranteed to make massive profit because of that central revenue floor. And remember that salary cap we talked about, the franchisee owners love the salary cap. It protects them from themselves. It means they cannot get into bigger war and ruin their own profit margin. Revenues from broadcasting rights compound exponentially, but their biggest cost, player salaries, is artificially suppressed and grows incrementally. That massive gap drops straight to their bottom line. This is why a corporate group that brought a team in 2008 for roughly 70 to 90 million dollars is now sitting on an asset valued over $1 billion. They have successfully privatized the profits of Indian obsession with cricket. Owning an IPL team is like owning a toll booth on the only highway to Indian consumers, where someone else entirely pays for the maintenance of the road. So finally, we reach the apex of the pyramid, the absolute cash king, the board of control for cricket in India, the regulator. The BCCI is the ultimate monopoly. They own the intellectual property, they own the prime real estate of the Indian summer. They do not buy the teams, they do not pay the players, and they do not bear the logistic nightmare of marketing a franchisee to local city. They simply control the supply. Because they are regulator, they enforce an artificial scarcity. They declare there will only be 10 teams. By keeping the supply capped while the demand from corporate India skyrockets, they ensure valuations only move in one direction. The BCCI retains 50% of the massive central revenue pool. They take home over 24,000 crores over 5 years just from media rights, effectively risk-free. They also dictate the terms to everyone else. You cannot build a competing league because the BCCI controls the stadiums and will ban any player who participates. They have created a closed loop cartel. Over the last decade, the IPL has functioned as a highly engineered wealth transfer machine, where the risk and reward are heavily disconnected. The absolute financial winner is the BCCI, which captured roughly 35 to 40,000 crore rupees in pure risk-free cash by monopolizing the supply of cricket. Franchisee owners secured highest return on equity, generating 50 to 60,000 crore rupees in wealth as their initial investment compounded into billion-dollar valuations. This extreme franchise profitability is engineered through strict salary caps, restricting the total decade-long player compensation pool to roughly 8,000 to 10,000 crore rupees. By capping player earnings, the actual athletes on the field capture the smallest relative slice of the pie, effectively subsidizing the profit margins of the owners. Meanwhile, the Indian government operates as the ultimate silent partner, nearly extracting 15,000 to 20,000 crore rupees in last decade through 18% GST and heavy corporate taxes. The entities funding everyone else are the broadcasters, who wrote checks total nearing 65,000 crore rupees over last 10 years just to secure the media rights. Despite appearances, these broadcasters do not generate direct cash profit from the matches, and historically they operate the tournament at massive net losses. They gladly absorb this financial bleed because the league serves as a multi-billion-dollar loss leader to acquire hundreds of millions of digital and telecom subscribers. Ultimately, corporate media budgets pay the entire bill, while the regulator and team owners comfortably pocket the guaranteed risk-free returns. When you look at the IPL through this lens, the mainstream narrative falls away. It is not just a sports tournament. It is a highly engineered, risk-free customer acquisition platform for digital conglomerates, a guaranteed dividend generator for billionaires, and geopolitical monopoly for the cricket board. The real insight is this: an IPL franchisee is not a sports team. It is effectively a high-yield sovereign bond issued by cricket board, paying guaranteed annual dividends, completely funded by the marketing and customer acquisition budgets of corporate India. So next time you watch a match and see the fireworks go off, you will know exactly who is really paying for them and exactly whose bank accounts is getting heavier. Keep asking the right question and keep looking for the hidden structure. I will see you in the next video.